Welcome back, you beautiful people, and welcome to Swatch Nines. Let's go find some Freeride tech. Follow me. Told you. Well, we got Casey Brown here with her beautiful trek session. Now, is this the park or is this the DH?
This is the Session Park, and it has a 420 mil rear end. So it's slightly shorter than the one that you'd buy, and it has that normal carbon front end on it.
But it hasn't got a normal paint job, has it? It's got this yin and yang. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I asked them to create a yin and yang bike for me this year because I felt like yin and yang is like the balance in life and it keeps you going. So I was like, it really resonated with me this year, and I've had a bit of that kind of year as well, just like lots of ups and downs, injuries, and I'm here at Nines and I'm stoked to be back riding.
Lovely, lovely. You could be like the naughty side and the good side, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I love how you've color matched the pedals as well. And your pedals are Title?
Yeah, I got Title pedals on there. They are, yeah, miss and match, so I have another pair at home that are just mismatched.
If you get scratched up and stuff.
Yeah.
And you've got Title stem and bar as well, combo.
Yeah, I have the Title Form carbon bar, so it's actually really nice, and flexy makes everything a little bit nicer because I have my bike running really stiff, so it gives it a little bit more niceness for me.
Bit more, compliant.
Yeah.
Right, now talk about control and suspension. Tell us about the front end of the bike, because that looks very nice. 200 mil of travel, that.
Yeah, so that's the new Boxer Ultimate. It's I've really been enjoying riding it this year. It's so different than the last one, like really stable, and it's just feels like I can really trust it. So no, I've just been really hyped on riding that, and it's got the buttercups in it too. So on those bottom outs, it just like smooth as.
Yep, smooth as butter. I got them in my Zebs. I like the buttercup.
Yeah, nice.
Now, set up in that, because you're riding some big jumps, some big G-outs and then takeoffs. Pressure in there, do you roughly know? And tokens?
I'm running 4 tokens and 165 PSI.
Check that out. Wow, that is stiff. Now, talking about the rear, you've got black box, RockShox as well. The spring on that?
That's a 450 spring.
Okay.
Yeah, so fairly stiff bike. Feels terrible to ride on anything but smooth jumps.
Exactly. Yeah. Right, let's talk about the rubber on your bike. The size, the tires, and the tire pressure. And are you running tubes or tubeless?
All right, I'm running the Hellcat and the Pinner Pro, both Kade, 40 PSI, tubeless, and 27.5 on both sides.
Last question for you. Anything unique apart from the paint job on the bike?
Well, I think just like these stickers that I have, like I got my Honk If You Freeride, the Ride or Die, and I actually just put these freshy
Nines stickers on it. Nines. Nice special way of.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool.
They work out really well.
Yeah. We have Haz from Down Under. This is her Trek Ticket S. It's a slopestyle rig. S standing for slopestyle.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the bike. Now the colour, is this a stock colour?
No, so these are colours that I pitched to Trek when we come up with it at the start of the year, and I wanted sort of a tanny brown colour, and then we went with a maroon for the actual Trek logo, which was cool. Yeah.
It does look cool. I did off camera, I said it looked like the Simpson Desert on a bit of a moisty day. Yeah. Let's talk about the suspension. Now, I know it's a short travel bike. How stiff is that? What pressure are you running in that?
That one's pretty stiff. I think it's got about 100 in it. Yep. That's actually like the XC, basically the XC shock.
Okay.
I run it depending on if it's my slalom bike for Crankworx and my spin style bike for Crankworx too. Yep. So I'll either have it pretty stiff for this kind of stuff, or I'll soften it up a bit for slalom, which makes it perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Now, travel on the bike?
So I think we've got, so with the Suntour front one, we use the 27 fork and then we lower it to 100 for the smaller 26 wheels. Yep. And then that works perfectly and fits the wheel mean and
look at that. Quality. That is definitely a bit of tech right there, for sure. I see you've got some cool stickers. You've got the Swatch Nines already. And you got the Crankworx Whistler
I've got all
101.
the speed and style ones stacked on top of each other.
Oh, really? How many are under there?
4. So there'll be
4?
4 for the year.
4, and they're all on this rig?
Yeah, all on this rig. This is like my basically travel with this one for all of Crankworx. So I run this in speed and style and slalom. So like I usually have gears on it.
Yep.
And then I just recently basically put a cable through the derailleur to tension it.
Yep.
And then just chucked a single speed on it for this stuff for the rest of the year now, because I probably won't need gears until March next year when Rotor Reel starts.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did notice that you have a single speed setup, but you have a derailleur, 7-speed derailleur.
Yeah, so I don't have a single speed tensioner at the moment, so we just thought we'd use the derailleur for that, which that's what it's doing for you right now, is just tensioning, so you obviously when you doesn't pop the chain off.
Pops the chain off.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, what componentry are you running on your bike? Like pedals, saddle, seat post, bars?
So we've got most of my components are with Tidal. We got like the brand new Tidal brown seat, which is insanely sick. As soon as they messaged me saying you want to try these out for Whistler, I was like, that's going to match my ticket. It's going to match your beautiful perfectly. Bike. Same with the pedals, the new Tidal pedals. Bars, grips with Tidal, and then we've got the Sun Tour suspension and Kenda tires.
Så bjuder du upp, titta.
This is Erik Fedko's YT Tues. Now, this is a downhill bike built for big jumps. It's super clean. I love the teal color. Now, talk about big jumps. You don't want that suspension to really work supply. You want it to be rock hard. So on the rear, he's got a RockShox coil, and he's got a 600-pound spring on there. And he's not a very big dude, so that is going to be super stiff. Now, I did ask him about his fork setup. Now, he's running the RockShox Boxer Ultimate, all in black, murdered out, looks stealth as anything. But inside there, he's just stuck all the pressure. He's probably gone over slightly. He's got no tokens or anything inside that, which it sounds bizarre. I would stick in the max in there and just reduce the pressure slightly, and it would work the same anyway. But there's one thing that is a reoccurring thing on all these Freeride bikes is title. Title is everywhere. You've got a title saddle. Now, this is the same one that we saw on Haz's bike. This is the JS1, so it's a new one coming out, all in black. I do like it. It's really soft and supple, just in case when you land on the seat, it's not gonna hurt as much. We've got a Title seat post. We do have a Title direct mounted stem with Title bars. Width of them, I'm thinking it feels very short, probably 750. The tires you're running are the Continental Cryptotal, front and rear. He's got Industry 9 wheels on this bike, which sound incredible. Oh, that sounds so good. Let's go to the next. Now, I picked this one because of the color. Look at it. This is Kade Edwards Trek Session Park. Only because I know, because it's got the aluminium rear end. But the color of it, I absolutely love. Blue tie-dye. Look at the state of this beautiful thing. It's got his name there. You've got G-Up stickers, ride or die. Another reoccurring thing in the Freeride world is Trek. But there's no title on this bike. We've got Bergtech saddle and bars. Now, these are the high 50s. It's 50 mil rise on these rigs. Look, it's just, the man is a beast. He can shred the bike. I feel like he's one of the best in the world. Now, I had a little bounce on his bike coming up here, and it didn't really bounce because the guy's a unit and he doesn't want that suspension moving and taking up all his pop, because the guy can shred. Let's talk about the front. RockShox boxes on the front here, all murdered out, all black. And in there is 3 tokens running 230 PSI. Them things don't even move with me bouncing up and down on these things. And on the rear, it didn't budge one bit. RockShox coil with a 600-pound spring. That is just unfathomable for me. It just won't move. Might as well ride a hardtail for me. But there's one thing I do want to point out that is really cool, because he loves riding moto, he loves riding trials and stuff. This right here, my friend, he's got some ODI grips right here, but they're not lock-on. The way they are on there, so they don't move, because they do move when it gets a bit moisture in them. He's put wire in there. Now, I used to do this on my moto. Look at that. I like that. That there is cool. brand new to the market, out now. This is Lukas Knopf's Rose Scrub, the Freeride bike from Rose. Now the color is beautiful, it looks deserty, I love it, but the color is called vanilla. Oh, I love vanilla. I like the look of this bike. Now it's large. He's a big, tall man. Now there's something to point out, because he's been in the business for a very long time. Since I started, he was starting as well. He's a German dude, and he's brought out his own components on this bike, and it's called MTN. So he's got the bar. Under his stem right here, he's got a hydraulic gyro. MTN as well. And you can see his front brake goes through this top cap, which is unique, so he can spin those bars. So the hydraulic can spin the bars and endless anyway. The brakes he's got on this bike are SRAM DB8s, front and rear, pretty big discs, look like they are 200s, massive, 4 pots. But there's a cool thing right here, because he don't want to have any more cables than these two right here. Look where he's put his shifter. SRAM GX shifter bolted underneath here, so he can change the gears where he wants for what he wants to do to get the speed out there. He's got a matching MTN seat post as well, but that's it. 27.5 wheels, front and rear. Let's talk about the suspension, because again, it's Freeride, it's all about the pressures. So he's got 130 PSI with 2 tokens, and in the rear, out now is the RockShox Vivid Ultimate. He's got 300 PSI in there with no bands, which I would put bands in it, but he's just got it. It's brand new in his possession, and he's just set it up. There we go. What better bike to end this tech video is my bike. I'm very proud of this build. I love it. It's the Nukeproof Mega. It's the carbon frame. It's this beautiful green. I love this green. In the sunlight, it just fires. I love it. I've actually nicknamed it Green Mamba. Can you get it? Yeah, Green Mamba. I pretty much nickname everything, even my car. It's called Ted. Anyway, I'm going to start off with the suspension, because it's all about having stiff suspension. On the rear, I've actually taken this from my blue bike. This is a push rear shock, and I've actually upgraded the coil to a 550. And I've locked it out. I call it jump mode. It's called pedal mode, but I've locked it out. I'm not too sure it's good, but it's doing the job. It's really stiff. On the front, I've got these Fox 38s, 170mm of travel. On the rear is 165, but in here, I've got 5 tokens, and I'm running 120 PSI. It's really good. I've actually had to slow down the rebound too, taking all that considerations anyway. The top here, Sam Hill bars. This is the series. It's a big rise bar. I got the 50mm Nukeproof SEM. I've got the Ergon GA2 grips. These are fat grips, really big and solid. The brakes are Hayes Dominions, front and rear. Now this bike is a mixed wheel size, so it is a 29, 27.5, but I've actually opted to run a 27.5 on the front, because I want to have that maneuverability in the air. I am running tubeless, 40 PSI front and rear. I've actually minimized how much liquid I've put inside there, just because I didn't want that with all that liquid inside my tire, so there's pretty much nothing in there. Spank wheels, front and rear. On the front is a 350, and on the rear is a 359. But the coolest thing, I'm pretty excited, because I don't get all this Gucci stuff. It looks like I do, but I don't. Neil gets it all. It's the SRAM stuff, the T-types. Oh, look at it, it's beautiful. I need it because I kind of destroy my drivetrains. I love it. It looks cool. Anyway, that's it. That is my pro bike check. Oh, and I've got no dropper on here, and 2 cables here, because I've got the wireless. It's beautiful. I think this is match made in heaven for me. Thank you very much for watching this tech video. There's so many other rigs out there that I couldn't get my hands on, because they're riding them down there where all that music's coming from. Anyway, let us know in the comments down below if you want to see more of these kind of tech videos, and I'll see you next time. See ya! Cup of tea, and then I'm going to go and do some jumps.